Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Fanatics video on the channel. As always on Wednesday, Trade Talk is here and we are going to be chatting about the most traded in out players ahead of round 9 and then go through my top 5 targets and what my trade plans currently are. So interesting week. We've obviously got, we've got 2 trades this week, 2 trades around 10, 2 trades around 11 and then the 3 trades. So we've got 9 trades left before the buys kick in. Is that right? Yeah. 2 in round 9, 2 in round 10, so 4, 2 in round 6. Yeah, 9. Yeah, cool. Yeah, got maths right. Unbelievable. But yeah, so 9 trades left before we hit the first buy round. And yeah, so it's important probably to look at your structure and sort of your players and how you're sort of looking across there. So that's what I've looked at it a little bit last week and more so this week as well. So looking at those important things. So let's get stuck in to the most traded in players first, then we'll go to the most traded out. So Hugh Boxall is sitting at number 1, 15.4k, jumping on him. And no surprise, he is the rookie that you need to be bringing in this week if you don't have him. -7 break even, one of only 2 players in the game that's got a negative break even. One of them being Harry Boyd, which a lot of us have already got. I wonder if he'll get an opportunity at any point at all. And then Hugh Boxall has got the lowest break even, -7. So slim pickings at the moment. Plays Friday, which is good. So we'll be able to see and we'll know if he's sub or whatever. But should hold his spot. Can't see him being dropped. Just depends. Will he be sub with Philippou coming back? That's the one thing to be watching out for. Yeah, a bit nervous that he could get the sub vest because I wonder whether he was going to get last week. I'm not sure. Played low game time as it is, right? So not great. But 74 was great for him last week. 60 at halftime. Obviously, people that brought him in were probably thinking, here we go, this could be a 90 or even a ton on debut. And then everyone that didn't have him would have to scramble to get him in this week. But that wasn't the case. Had a 14-point second half. Hopefully he gets more game time this week. Hopefully he's not in the sub vest. And hopefully, yeah, he can go well again. But yeah, he is the by far the best rookie option this week, I think, as long as he isn't the sub. So he is the most traded in, and for good reason. Then there's a bit of a mixture. So what? The only player over 4,500 people have brought him in so far. Everyone else is below that. So Chris Petrarca's next, 4.2k, jumping on him. Yeah, I'll still like him as a target. 964k, I think he's a top 6 forward, right? The only problem I have with it now is if you bring him in now, you miss the 4 tons in a row, right? He had good matchups. Essendon, which I didn't get him for. I got him for the Freo game. So he's turned up in 4 games in a row. Obviously, he's been really good the last 2 weeks. I just want, like, you're going into now Hawthorn, Brisbane, Sydney. So a bit of a tougher run coming up. So still like it, still tick it off, definitely. But obviously, you're missing a bit of value from what he was a few weeks ago and tougher matchups. But if you don't have him still, I still like him as an option. I think he'll be a top 6 forward. So I tick off Chris Petrarca as an option. Max Gawn is next. 4,000 coaches are jumping on the second most expensive player in the game. $1.14 million. 75k made last week. Been on an absolute tear the last month. 118, 125, 138, 158. Then we've got to remember though, so played Essendon with no... to Draper. Brian went down, so he was just against Draper. Then played against Sean Darcy, who's slowly working his way back to full fitness. Then played against Nank. Obviously, that could have been a 150 as well. Then obviously played against West Coast. Great matchup, right? So he's had a really nice run. It does get tougher, though. So he goes Meek, McInerney, Grundy, Marshall, Cameron, and then Sweet, and then his bye. So that mixed with the fact that he's so expensive. He's priced at 116 now. I just think it's too expensive to pay. If you've got him, you're loving life. You're very, very happy. But if you don't have him, I just don't think you can spend up for him now. I think that it's gone. He's too expensive. He'll hopefully come down in price. And if he's still doing this in a month or 2, we can jump on him then. But I wouldn't be trading in now because then you're just sort of conceding those big scores you missed. Jumping on him, whatever he scores from me, you're conceding that, right? So I think I'll be jumping on to the next guy, where that's a Tristan Cherry if you don't have him. Ryan Marshall, maybe if you sort of think he's getting slightly back to fitness. English as well. I'd rather English, 70k cheaper, and has been very, very good as well. So, yeah, but Gawn, though, a lot of people are doing TDK to Gawn, right? They're just going, well, I want the best ruck I don't have, go to Gawn, and that's fine. So, normally this is high in a place to pay up for someone. I don't think Gawn this week is where I'd be paying up, unless you're in absolute luxury position. You've got like 2 rookies. You've got like Ashcroft and Bice, and you've got all the value, and your team value's like one of the top couple in the comp. But then again, if it was, you'd probably have Gawn in your side. So I would be passing on him, as tough as it is to say with how good he's been. Will Lorenz is next. I'm personally not going there. He might not even be in the team this week. Port got smashed, and he got subbed out, I'm pretty sure. So for me, I wouldn't be going there. I don't see him being in the team long term. But I could be wrong. Port fans, let me know in the comments. Is Will Lorenz going to be someone that we should be considering? Do you think he's got good job security? I don't think he does. But any Port fans out there watching, if that is the contrary and he does have good job security, let us know, and he might be a good target. For now, I'm not looking at Will Lorenz. He's 252k though, and it is slim pickings, as I said, so maybe we might have to look at him a bit more. Isaac Rankin, 5th most traded player, 2.8k, jumping on him. 120 last week, his high score of the season, and he has been very, very good, as I've said, for a few weeks now. All year, he's essentially getting 90 plus in every game, right? The only 2 games he's gone below that was in round 2, where he got subbed out midway through the third quarter, and then against Gold Coast, where he gave away 5 free kicks, and he should have had a shot late on in the game. So that could have easily been probably an 80 plus, if not a 90. But besides that, just been super consistent and playing his midfield role very, very good. Had 9 marks in this game as well, which is really good to see. If you can pair that with some like big tackle games, maybe like a 6 or a 7, we could see some bigger scores, like a 130 maybe, pop its head up at some point this year. But he's been fantastic. And yeah, if you don't have him, jump on board. I think he's still a good target. Maybe not this week against Port, but he's got West Coast, I believe, the week after. So, Collingwood. Yeah, they're West Coast. Sydney, Brisbane, Hawthorn. Not a great run. Like, Collingwood's okay. West Coast is good, but then everything else is hard. After the bite gets a bit easier. Richmond, Melbourne, Bulldogs, Gold Coast. That month after is pretty good. Then Port, Hawthorn, West Coast, Collingwood, and North Melbourne. So some good matchups post-bye. But yeah, tougher run. But I still don't mind bringing him in if you haven't got him. Harry Sheezel is next, 2.7k. Love him as a target this week. I jumped on him last week, and I'm very happy I did. 134. Absolutely killing it in his half-back role. And we know for a fact he does this in his half-back role. He is just, we just know how well he does back there. 32 touches last week, 9 marks, 5 tackles, 134. Season high score. The 95 he scored against Port the week before. Non-owners probably got away with the fact that he only went 95. Against Port, got some attention from Sam Pepper. Didn't take the marks, didn't have as many tackles. He's not normally a huge tackler, but if he can just even lay 3-4 tackles a game and just boost that floor up, even better. So for me, one of my favourite targets this week, and he will definitely be featuring in my top 5 targets when we get to that very shortly. He's the 6th most traded player. Number 7, Henry Huswaite. I don't know about this pick, right? Low break even, great. Good score last week, 87, great. Melbourne this week, great. The only thing I worry about, so Colin Nash has got 2 games left on his suspension, and Cam McKenzie wasn't on the injury report, so whether he's back unless that was not an updated injury report, but unless he's back this week or next week maybe, it just worries me that that's 2 mids coming back in. So I think that if you were going to get him, last week was the week to do it. The Richmond matchup, you get the score and keep moving. I'm just having a look here. So yeah, this isn't the updated injury list. So we get to the updated one. Let's have a look. So Hawthorn. Where's Hawthorn? Cam McKenzie, 1 to 2 weeks. There you go. So, and obviously Connor Nash has got a couple of weeks left. So, yeah. 2 weeks. He's probably got 2 weeks left until you got to probably trade him. So if you're happy for just a short 2-week play, may make 60k. If he can make 30k a week, he's got Melbourne, then Gold Coast. Because I just think when Nash is back and when McKenzie's back, I think he could be the sub Henry Huswaite. He's played well. I think he'll stay in around the team, but I think there could be some sub or even sub out games there. So I don't know if I'm jumping on you. I think it's not like you haven't missed the boat, but I feel like I've missed the boat, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't be bringing him in at this point. Finbar Marley is an option. Ruck forward, 43 last week. Ruck forward, I guess, is handy. I think North will persist with him for another week or 2, but it is a little bit dicey. He's obviously a taller player and a key position player, so he's not really going to put out massive scores. Do you have any hit-outs? No hit-outs there, so he wasn't doing that backup ruck. I think it was Darling still doing it. So for me, I think there are other options that I'd prefer. Number 9, Marcus Bontempelli. Obviously, he's a gun, right? We know he's arguably, if not the best player in the comp at the moment. And he's been really good, right? He got subbed out against GOS for a 79, but 119, 126 outside of that, kicking goals, looking really good. I just think we wait 3 weeks and then he's got his bye, then we jump on, right? I think he's different to Sheasel. Sheasel is cheaper, and I think he's a top 2 defender. Bont is a top 8 mid, but is he a top 2 mid? Potentially is. I just think he's the obvious guy to let go through the buys, and then you bring him in round 13 post his buy. He's got a pretty nice run after his buy as well. Gold Coast, Essendon, Geelong is pretty good as well. So if you're not going to get Sheasel and you want Bont instead, I guess I could tick it off. I just think I'd much rather have him down and pencil his name down as that's who I'm going to upgrade to in post his round 12 buy. But Bont is going really well. And I don't understand how he's doing this well considering of how much time he missed to start the year. And then he's come back and he's looked $1 million straight away. So, really, I love Bont. Whether you bring him in or after his bye, I think after his bye would be the play. And Joe Fonte is the 10th most trading player this week. Scored 70 in his first game of the year, went up 32k, break even 11. If you've already got a Boxall, he's probably my favourite downgrade option this week. Him or Hardiman are probably the 2, but I think Fonte's the guy I think I prefer. It's good matchups to come up to his bye. He's also got the last bye as well, which is super, super handy. Can make a heap of cash. Hopefully plays every game until the bye. Then you trade him in around 16 and bring someone and go him down, get that cash, and then upgrade later on. Just some other players here. Chad Warner is a popular name this week. Pretty cheap in the mid-800s. I don't love Chad Warner as a fantasy option, but at his price and with the good matchups to come before the bye, he could be that guy you bring in for 5 weeks, has the Richmond matchup, then's got the bye. It gets tougher after that. Maybe you trade him at his round 14 bye to a forward coming off of the round 12 or round 13 bye. That could be definitely a play that you could consider. So Chad Warner could be in the mix for you. At the moment, he's not for me, just because I've already got Horn Front, so I don't want 2 forwards that, okay, they can go well, but they can also drop a 40. So that's the only thing I don't like. Warner's floor is very, very low. Tristan Cherry, really like him as an option. He would be the number 1 ruck option for me. If you don't have him and you're looking at maybe moving on TDK, Tristan Cherry is my favourite option there. Lewis Hayes could make his debut this week with Ridley out for, I think Ridley's out for I don't know if I read that correctly. I think he's out for 8 weeks or something. So he's out for a long time, which could open the door for Lewis Hayes to have an extended run in that Essendon backline. Looking at the injury report here for Essendon, where is he? No, that hasn't been updated, apparently. The injury updates haven't been... They're not... I don't think they're all... Wait, what? Oh, no, hang on, because I keep going to the injury tab. What if I go to the article? Yeah, the article's updated. So Jordan Ridley, out for 8 weeks. So long time. I think Lewis Hayes is going to get a good run. So he could be a decent downgrade option if he was to make his debut this week. Personally, I'd prefer to wait a week. I'd rather go get a Fonte or a Boxer if you don't have him first, and then grab Lewis Hayes next week. But there may be some people that need the 230k rookie to get the player they want, so maybe you take the punt because his job security should be okay. Josh Dacos, I like as an option, back-to-back tons and good run now for the rest of the year, so I like him. Like Nasai if you can get to him. Marek I wouldn't be bringing in. You've missed a fair bit of the cash in already. Obviously, it's great for owners. He's over 700k now, and a lot of us grabbed him in the mid-500s. Some people got him at about 500k. I would be waiting. I just wouldn't be worrying about it now. I know he's got a low break-even, but if he drops a 6... I was looking at trading him out in a week or 2. He's got 2 good matchups, but then people are going to be looking at trading, so I wouldn't be jumping on him there. And John Dawson, really like him as a target. If you're looking at him, Port, Showdown, it's always tough. Not many high scores come in these games. They're normally quite low-scoring and hotly contested games, but Jordan Dawson is in very, very good form. So, you could definitely look at him as an upgrade target. Moving to the most traded out players. Probably not much really to be said about a few of these players. A few guys to discuss, but Sam Davidson, 11k jumping off him. Most traded out player for the week. And, break-even's up to 71 now, over his average. That's what I normally like to look at. His last couple of scores, I think, 57, 51, then 57 or something, I believe. 3 50s in his last 4. I traded him, obviously, the week he got the 87, but it sort of feels vindicated that he's gone a little bit quieter after that. So he's done a very, very good job for us, made bulk cash in the 400k, and his job is done. So he lost 1k last week, so perfect time to downgrade him or even upgrade him if you're doing another downgrade. Riley Sanders can go as well, just with the other guys back. Obviously, no mid-time whatsoever. He obviously smashed St Kilda with a 130, but outside of that, he's now gone back-to-back 51s, which these were the scores I was nervous he was going to drop. Obviously, of course, again, I trade him out on the when he goes 92, 80, and then 130. But yeah, he would be someone I'll be happy to trade now. Lost 15k last week. He's going to start undoing some of that cash he's made. So for me, he has got to go. Tom de Koning. So Tom de Koning's an interesting one. So over 6,000 and jumping off of him. Went down 33k last week. Break even of 119. So he started the year great. Has gone quiet. Has only had 1 ton since round 4. I do look at it, though, and think there's a bit of a reason as to why he scored lower in some of these games. So the Collingwood game was going pretty well until half-time. After half-time, it got wet, and Dustcam really got on top. He gave away 4 free kicks, which was obviously a season high there. So there was that. Then 75 against West Coast, obviously good matchup, poor score, but it was stinking hot that day. I was at the game, and it was very, very hot, so you can understand why lower score there. Then the 62 against Cherry, one of the toughest matchups going around. Geelong, 117, great score, good matchup, and capitalised on that. And then the 65 against Adelaide, obviously O'Brien's one of the toughest rucks as well at the moment. So I think those two 60s are more due to matchup. His matchups before the bye are pretty good. St Kilda, Sydney, GOS. Sydney, Grundy, maybe a little bit trickier, but Grundy's still be giving up points. So I don't think that's a bad matchup for TDK. I think he can still go okay. I think if you don't have Tristan Xerri, I think that's an obvious trade. I think going TDK to Xerri makes a lot of sense, and you do that move. I think if you've already got Xerri, like I've got him, I'm holding TDK up until probably his buy, unless I get a luxury trade next couple of weeks and look at trading him there. But for me, I'd be probably holding if you've already got Tristan Xerri, but I know a few people don't, so I'd be going to X. I don't think I'd be going up to Gawn. You're paying like 240k or something to get up to Gawn, or 230k. It's a lot of money, and that could be used to upgrade a rookie to a premium. So for me, probably not looking at him just yet, but definitely something to be keeping on. If Pitney got named, that'd be obviously a big issue, but I don't think they're going to play TDK, Pitney, Kerno, and Mackay. That's not going to solve their issues. It was about pressure. Their lack of pressure against the Crows was evident, and I don't think adding another tall player into that is going to improve the pressure. Christian Moraes obviously didn't play last week, got dropped. So if he's a red dot again, he can go. I think he can go regardless, even if he's named. He's obviously break even is in the 50s or the 60s. Yeah, 56. He's averaging 54. He had that one big score, but outside that hasn't done too much, unfortunately, so he can go. Lindsay, he can go in most cases. I'm probably holding 47 break even. Hawthorn are actually a really good matchup for wingers, so I think that he can actually go okay. That was his real first poor score in games where he wasn't injured or managed, right? So 94-80, injury here, managed a lot here, then 63, 98, and then 33. So 33 is the only score below 60 where he's been hasn't been injured or managed. I think he responds a bit more this week. I think there'll be a bit more outside ball. So I'm holding, but if you can trade and go up to a premium, I still tick that off. I don't think he's going to make a lot more cash unless he does a Levi and goes like a 115, which I think Lindsay's capable of doing. Whether he does it, though, obviously is a different question. But Lindsay can go, but it is team dependent there. Clayton Oliver, 3,500 jumping off him. If he's not named, yet you trade. But if he is named, if you're held, you might as well just keep holding an upgrade around him unless there's no player you want to trade out and then he's the next guy. But I find that very hard to believe that he's the number one guy you want to trade out if he's named. I think there are other issues. There are rookies that are putting out poor scores. I'd even rather trade a Caleb Daniel out over Clayton Oliver. But some people might want to trade him out. I think a few people are scarred from last year. But at the end of the day, his worst game this year was at, an 81? Yeah, right, an 81. Low game time. I'm hopeful that was just him being a little bit burnt out and he goes back over 80%. But yeah, he was marking early in the year. 3 games where he only had the 5 marks combined. Hopefully he has an uptick in marks and goes well. Not West Coast this week. Hawthorn this week. No Connor Nash. I think he can go okay, even though Hawthorn is a tough matchup. So Oliver I'd be holding, but a few people might want to move off of him. Sam Lawler, Murphy Reed can both go. Both got big break evens. Well, I think, did Lawler lose money this week? Or did he go up like one? Yeah, went up 4K. So pretty much milked all you can, unless he goes like a 90. But he's only had one score over 70 this year. West Coast this week, that could happen again. But I think he can go. I don't think he's going to make a huge amount of cash now. And then Murphy Reed as well, break even 64. He went down 12K last week. He can go. He's over 500K. He's been a good rookie pick, but he can go. Riley Bice is a really interesting one. So first poor score for the season. Obviously had the 35 when he was subbing against Brisbane, but then 64, 125, 94, 72, 82, and then 44. Really good matchups so to come. So Essendon, Carlton isn't great, but then Melbourne, Adelaide, Richmond, good matchup. So 4 of his next 5 are good. Again, a little bit like Lindsay, I'm probably holding for a week. But then again, if you're holding Bias, holding Lindsay, if you hold another rookie or two, then they both go bad. Then it's like, well, you got to trade both, right? So, but I think Bias is 24 years of age. He's a bit more mature. I think he can handle the rigors of football more. So I would be holding. But if he's your one guy you want to trade out, I think you can definitely trade out. Connor Stone, Jackson Pryor, both can go. They've done their jobs, and Stone obviously not playing at the moment. Caleb Daniel. So just under 2,000 coats are trading him out. And I think he can. He's 100% owned in the top 1,000, top 10,000. Very, very, very highly owned. One of the most highly owned players in the game, 66%. But his last 5 games hasn't turned up. He's averaging 83.6. And in the 2 games where Sheasel has played in defence, he's gone 75 and 77. Not great. Obviously takes kick-ins, but I wouldn't be shocked if Sheasel started taking more kick-ins as well, getting the ball more in his hands. That's really interesting. 4 of his last 5, he's played at 85% game time exactly. That's really interesting. But yeah, I just don't think you're going to get burnt. Obviously, he had those big scores back-to-back, 114, 115, but that was when Sheasel wasn't playing defence, and he had a whole bunch of the ball. Whereas I don't think North are looking for him as much as what they were earlier in the season. I think they're looking for Sheasel now. Brisbane, down at Blundstone, or Ninja Stadium as it's called now, I'd be happy to trade. He's done a great job, made over 300k, and he's average of 92, but I think he could start going down in price. He went down 11k this week, 102 break even. I'm looking at trading. He is in my trade plans. Kako, Finn O'Sullivan, both can go. Connor O'Sullivan can go. Libba, I think can go as well. Obviously, Trelaw's back. That's his first really poor score of the season. Lost 47k. If he started him, I wouldn't let him undo all the good work that he's done. 140 break even. I would be happy to trade. Saligo can go. Sarong, well, Max Hall can go. He's made his money, and then Humphreys can go as well. Sarong is interesting, right? So he's only averaging 88.6 a year. He's down at 916k. Average of 88.6. I don't know if I'd trade, because some people are looking at bringing him in like in the next few weeks because of just how cheap he's gotten. Obviously, those 3 tons back to back to back, obviously they were 100 and 101. So no, only big one was against the Dogs, but that did require 38 touches and then had no marks. Just doesn't get those marks and enough tackles to be a consistent option. I'm not looking at it personally. He might get to a point where he gets too cheap and you jump on, or maybe Freo change a little bit and they get him more involved in the transitional play, but at the moment he's just not involved at all. Like, was he taken 1 mark in his last 3 games combined, and he's had 5 marks since round 4. Just not much at all. So I'd be happy to trade. But then again, it's also like, well, actually no, I'd be happy to trade if your team is in a really, really good spot and you just want to get a solid premium. But most cases, you probably hold, because you think he's going to turn it around at some point. He's not going to average 89 for the year. He's probably going to go closer to 100. And in that case, I think he'll turn it around. So I probably wouldn't trade. I'd probably hold. I did say you can trade, because you can trade, right? He's not getting it done. You can maybe get a 20-point upgrade if he keeps going 89. I just think he'll turn around. So if you've got him, I'd hold. I wouldn't trade. I think they'd get the rookies off field first. But obviously, it's been a very, very hard watch. That's for sure. And yeah, most of these guys can go as well. Holmes I'd be keeping. I'm looking at trading him in a couple of weeks when his run opens up. So his run opens up a fair bit. He's got Port and then GWS, then Port. But then after, up until his bye, he's got a really good bye as well, round 16, which we don't have a lot of players on. But he goes Giants, Port, which is hard. But then Bulldogs, West Coast, Gold Coast, Essendon is pretty good. And then Brisbane to finish. So I'm looking at targeting him. So I wouldn't be trading him, I don't think. Let's go to my top 5 targets of the week. And at number 1, not surprised, Harry Sheezel is number 1. I jumped on him last week. He was fantastic, 134, playing half-back. I just think you just need him, and he's going to start making money soon. I think his break-even's in the 90s now, or maybe low hundreds. Yeah, 105. He might be near $1.1 million soon if he keeps dominating like he did last week. So Harry Sheezel is my number 1 target. Number 2 is Hugh Boxall, -7 break-even. If you didn't jump on him last week, I'd make the move and jump on him as long as he isn't the sub, and think that he can go all right. At number 3... I am going to put... Who am I going to put there? I'm going to go with... I'll go Tristan Xerri, because a lot of people are making that move. And if you are in the rucks, he's clearly my favourite ruck. So I'll go Tristan Xerri at number 3 if you don't have him. I guess tough from here, right? Because I like a few names. There's a few guys here that I do like. Who would I go for? Number 4. Who are we going to go? It's a tough one. There's a few guys I do like, as I said. Maybe go Joe Fonte as the next upgrade. He's probably the guy I'd look at if you don't have him. If you've got Boxall, he's the next best guy. So I'll go him at number 4. And I'll go Josh Dacos at number 5 as a defender. I think he can go pretty well there. Run for rest of the year is really, really good. He goes free this week. So you got to lock it in on Thursday, but I like him. But there's also other guys I like, right? So I like his brother Nick. If you don't have him, he's a consideration. I like Dunkley for round 16 bye. I like Tom Green. Actually, I might bump Tom Green above Josh Dacos as the number 5 just because he's priced at 97 or something like that, or 98. I'm pretty sure Tom Green is, or low hundreds. And I think can go pretty well. And he's got round 16 bye. But there's a lot of guys, like Zach Merritt's got round 16 bye, could be an option. Chad Warner's obviously cheap, could be an option. I wouldn't look at Gawn. Petrarch could be an option if you don't have him. Rankin. There's a few options there. Nasai if you don't have him. Jordan Dawson if you don't have him. I mentioned obviously Dunkley. Kitty Coleman obviously got to wait on. Yes, there's a few guys here that I quite like. If you don't have them, you can jump on them. So, in terms of my trades this week, so Lawler to Boxall's pretty much done for me. I think I'll be doing that no matter what. If Boxall's the sub, I can go to Fonte potentially. I can go to a Lewis Hayes if he makes his debut. Sardell Hawley's another guy that you could keep an eye on if he gets a game. Could be a option for you. And then at the moment, I've got Caleb Daniel out, and I'm grabbing Nick Dacos. I looked at all the players over 20% own the top 10,000 that I don't have that I think, can any of them burn me? And yet a few guys around 20% like Dunkley, guys like that might go well. The only guy I didn't have that's highly owned is Nick Dacos. He's like 83% in the top 1,000. I just feel like lock him in, get him in there, so I don't have to worry about it. But the only thing is if Boxall's a sub, I can't get Fonte. So I'd have to settle for someone like a Lewis Hayes or a Sardell Hawley or someone like that as a rookie option. Alternatively, I could go Tom Green instead of Nick Dacos. Then it can get me Fonte if Boxall's a sub. But if he's not, I'll have a little bit of extra cash for next week. So I'm undecided yet. Tom Green works well for my buys. Got the round 16 buy, which I've only got Bailey Smith as the only primo on that buy. But also round 14, I'm pretty light on as well. So Nick Dacos also works out really well. So either guy works. Just depends. Do I save the 70k and go for Tom Green? Or do I just go get Nick Dacos, bite the bullet, and I'll look for value next week like a Filippo or something like that. So it's an interesting one. But Nick Dacos is currently sitting in my team at the moment. So whether I keep that or not is another question. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what you guys doing with your trades for round 9. And any questions you guys have, I'll try and get to them when I can. But if you want a guaranteed answer from me, because I can't guarantee an answer every week just because of how busy I am, and there's like you got Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and obviously comments on YouTube and everything like that. If you want a guaranteed answer from me, head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. You get guaranteed answers there. You get one team review each week for every Patreon member. using the Ask Me on Q service, which you guys get for free. So being a patron, you get the Ask Me on Q service, which is the personalized audio response where you send through your team screenshots, whatever, your questions, and you get an audio response from it. So you get that for free. You get obviously exclusive Q&As. You get bonus content throughout the year. So if you guys want to do that, then head to patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics or click the link in the description. Or if you just like a one-off small fee and want to ask a question, then head over to Ask Me on Q, spelled QU.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics to get all your AFL Fantasy questions answered there with a personalised audio response, as I mentioned before. But make sure you do smash like on the video. I think we equaled the highest likes for the season, 174. So if we can crack 200, so if we can break that goal of 174, so make sure you smash a like. Takes 2 seconds, but it really, really does help us out a whole bunch. So if you can do that for us, that would be absolutely fantastic. And make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We're just over 200 away from 4,000 subscribers. So it feels like not long ago we hit 3,000 and we're nearly at 4K already. So if you haven't subscribed yet, get involved in all the fun. We have daily content here and a heap of good stuff. So make sure you get involved in all the fun. And if you could help us reach our big goal, that'd be fantastic. I'll be back tomorrow for captains. And then I'll be doing a watch-on tomorrow night, which is good fun. Be doing it for the Fremantle and Collingwood game, particularly if I bring in Nick Dacos. That'll be quite a real fun one, hopefully, watching him on debut there. Yeah, we might have a watch-on on Friday night as well, depending on how everything goes. And then there won't be on Saturday because of the showdown. Not sure if I'm going to that or not. But yeah, there will be a couple of watch-alongs at least tonight because I know a few people were asking about that. So, yes, make sure you guys tune into all of the content. And then our pre-lockout chat on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Perth time, answering all of your questions as well as we gear up for Friday night footy. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Catch you guys tomorrow for Captain. So thanks, everyone. Catch you then. See ya.